He said he was at the gym. I said, cool, what's your routine? He fumbled the answer. I drove there. His car was parked outside, but he wasn't inside. I left a water bottle with a note. Don't forget to stretch the truth next time. We'd been together for 5 years. I really thought he was it for me. Brad and I met at a friend's barbecue in Garland, Texas. He was funny, charming, the kind of guy who made you feel like the only person in the room when he talked to you. He worked construction, had that rough hands thing going on, and always had something to say about fitness or working out. Back then, I thought it was cute. Now, I think it was just something to hide behind. I'm a nurse. Been one since I was 22. Long shifts, double backs, working holidays, all that. I'm used to stress. I know how to read people. You kind of have to in this job. But with Brad, I think I chose to ignore the signs. Maybe I wanted it to work more than I wanted the truth. The weird stuff started slow. Late replies. I was at the gym became his go-to excuse for everything. Why didn't you text back? Gym. Why didn't you call me last night? Leg day. Always the gym. It was a random Wednesday, right after a 12-hour shift. I was tired, but I wanted to see him. I texted, you home? He replied, at the gym. Leg day. I wasn't suspicious at first. I said, cool. What's your routine? That's when I noticed something was off. Brad was never short on gym talk. He could go on for 10 minutes about deadlift form or protein intake. But this time, 3 dots. Then nothing. Then he finally sent, squats and lunges. Some other stuff. You know, usual leg day stuff. That was not like him. It bugged me. I sat there staring at my phone, sweaty in my scrubs, sore as hell from being on my feet all day. And it hit me, this man is lying. So I changed out of my scrubs, grabbed my keys, and drove straight to the gym he always went to. It was only 10 minutes away. His car was parked there. Same spot he always used. I walked inside, scanned the whole place, went upstairs, checked the locker rooms, even asked the guy at the front desk if Brad had checked in. Nope, the guy said. Haven't seen him today. So I waited. 15 minutes. Sat in my car, watching the entrance. I wasn't even mad yet, just confused. But the longer I waited, the more it started to make sense. The phone calls that ended too fast. The gym excuses. The nights he said he was too tired to come over. The nights I sat alone on our couch with dinner getting cold. He wasn't at the gym. And I had no idea where he was. I drove down to the gas station near the parking lot. Bought a water bottle and a pack of sticky notes. Wrote a message and stuck it on the bottle. Don't forget to stretch the truth next time. I left it on his car hood and drove home. No yelling. No fighting. Just silence. But inside, something was boiling. I didn't hear from Brad that night. No, hey, no, how was your day? No, sorry I missed your text. Nothing. I waited, half expecting a phone call asking what the water bottle was about. He didn't even mention it. That's when I knew he saw it. And ignored it. The next day, I acted normal. Didn't text him, didn't call. I wanted to see what he'd do. At 6:47 p.m., he finally messaged. Hey, sorry, gym ran long last night. Then I passed out early. What's up? I stared at my phone for a full minute. He was lying again. Flat out lying. I didn't reply. A few hours later, he called. I let it ring out. The next day, I started checking things. I pulled up my phone bill. Looked at the numbers he'd been texting and calling. I recognized most of them. Family, work, friends. Except one. A 682 number. Lots of texts. Mostly in the evenings. Sometimes past midnight. I called it. It rang twice before a woman answered. Young voice. Confused. Hello. I didn't say anything. I just hung up. Then I texted Brad, who's 682 **********. 10 minutes of silence. Then, nobody. Just someone from the gym. Another lie. I called him right after. He picked up. Hey babe. Don't hey babe me. I went to the gym. You weren't there. He didn't say anything. I saw your car, Brad. I went inside. You weren't there. Front desk said you never checked in. So where were you? I needed a break. I went for a drive. Really? Then why leave your car at the gym? Silence. Who's the 682 number? Just drop it, okay? He snapped. That was the wrong answer. You want me to drop it? Then tell me who she is. He hung up. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone. I just sat there, feeling like something inside me had finally gone quiet. Not numb. Not empty. Just focused. I spent the next few days pretending to be fine. I kept working, made small talk with friends, even smiled when patients made dumb jokes. But in the back of my mind, I was planning. I started with his phone. He had once given me his login to our shared phone plan account. I still had it. I logged in and started pulling data. Times. Dates. Durations. For the past 6 weeks, he'd been texting that number almost every night. Sometimes right after he told me he was heading to the gym. Calls that lasted 20, 30, even 45 minutes. I took screenshots. Lots of them. Then I made a fake Instagram. I followed the 682 number back through a reverse search site. It gave me a name, Tanya. The page was private, but her profile pic was her face and a mirror selfie at a gym. I'd met her. Hey Tanya. Just wondering, do you always sleep with guys who lie to their girlfriends? It took her 3 hours to reply. Who is this? Brad's girlfriend. For the past 5 years. She blocked me. So I unblocked her from my real account and sent her the same message again, with screenshots. This time, she didn't block me. She replied, he said you were his ex. That you were crazy. That he was just helping you move on. I could have thrown my phone at the wall. Instead, I wrote back, I'm not crazy. But I will be your problem now. She never replied again. But Brad did. That night, he showed up at my place, banging on the door. I didn't open it. Let me in, he shouted. No. Go stretch somewhere else, I said through the door. You don't understand, she means nothing to me. Funny, I said. You sure spent a lot of time on her. Then I walked away. I thought that would be it. But Brad wasn't done lying. And I wasn't done watching. A week passed. No calls. No texts. I figured he'd gotten the message. I told myself I was done. But something still didn't sit right. It wasn't just the cheating. It was how smooth he was about it. How comfortable he'd gotten lying to my face. That wasn't something you learn overnight. I kept going back to our shared photos on social media, looking at the timeline. When he started pulling away. When he got busy. And that's when I noticed something odd. An old post from February, 3 months back. It was a selfie he'd taken in a hotel room. He claimed he was out of town for a job training in Austin. I remember being pissed because it was our anniversary weekend and he missed it. I zoomed in on the mirror behind him. There was a purse in the background. Small. Beige. Not mine. My heart stopped for a second. I remembered Tanya's mirror selfie on Instagram. The purse was in that photo too. Same purse. Same hotel mirror. That wasn't his first time cheating. He'd been seeing her for months. Lying for longer than I thought. I knew what I had to do. I gathered everything. The screenshots, the texts, the hotel photo. I made a folder. Printed some of it. Saved the rest to a flash drive. Then I reached out to his mom. I never wanted to drag his family into this. But his mom, Dana, always treated me like a daughter. She once told me if Brad ever broke my heart, she'd kick his ass herself. I texted her, you might want to see this. I'm not doing it for revenge. Just the truth. She called me 5 minutes later. She cried on the phone. Said she was sorry. Said she'd suspected something but didn't want to believe it. Then she told me something that stopped me cold. She said Tanya wasn't the only one. Apparently, Brad had done this before. Years ago. Cheated on a girl in his early 20s. Lied, covered it up. Dana said he promised her he'd changed. Clearly, he hadn't. Now I had choices. I could burn it all down or play the long game. I chose both. I started by canceling the gym membership. It was under my name. Brad had begged me years ago to add him so he could get the family discount. I smiled when I hit terminate. Next, I called the dealership. The truck he drove? Co-signed by me. Dumb, I know. But I took it over when his credit was crap. Legally, I could claim it. So I did. I filed the paperwork. Took back the truck. Had it towed from his apartment at 3 a.m. I left a sticky note on the windshield. Leg day's over. Walk it off. By morning, his calls were flooding in. I didn't answer. He showed up at my work. My coworkers stopped him at the front. I watched through the glass window as he begged to talk. I just smiled, turned around, and walked back into my patient's room. He'd stretched the truth too far. Now it was snapping back. But the best part? That was still coming. Because I wasn't done. Not even close. 2 weeks went by. I'd blocked Brad's number. Took his name off everything. Changed the locks. Cleared the photos off social media. You'd think that would be the end. It wasn't. One night around 11 p.m., my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. It was Tanya. I didn't even know what to think. She looked shaken, like she'd been crying for hours. I opened the door just enough to talk. I don't want any drama, I said. I'm pregnant, she blurted out. That hit like a brick. She stood there, arms wrapped around herself, mascara streaked down her cheeks. I didn't know he was still with you. He told me you were out of the picture. He said you were a mess. I didn't say anything. I found out 2 days ago. I told him. You know what he said? He told me not to tell anyone. Said it would ruin everything. I almost laughed. What exactly was he trying to protect? She shook her head. His job. His image. His money, I guess. But he doesn't care about me. And now I'm stuck. I paused. You sure it's his? She nodded. Yeah. I let her in. Not because I felt sorry for her, but because I needed her to understand what kind of man Brad really was. I showed her everything. The screenshots. The hotel photo. The timelines. The truck. Even the sticky note I left on his windshield. By the time I was done, she was shaking. You want to get back at him? I asked. She looked up, tears still in her eyes. I want him to feel small. I smiled. That weekend, Tanya posted everything. Screenshots. Hotel selfies. Messages. She tagged his boss, his company, even his gym. It went viral in our town. People we knew shared it, commented, DM'd us. Brad's job? Gone by Monday. Apparently, his company didn't like the part where he lied about a work trip to sleep with someone in a hotel their firm paid for. But here's where I made a mistake. I thought that was it. That justice was served. But Brad wasn't done. A few days later, I came home and found my front door unlocked. Nothing was missing. But I knew I locked it that morning. That night, I got a message from an unknown number. This isn't over. You went too far. He was getting desperate. I filed a restraining order. Sent the police the message. Told them about the door. They didn't have enough to arrest him, but they warned him. That must have scared him, because he went quiet again. Until the morning I walked out to go to work and found my tires slashed. All 4 of them. I knew it was him. So I called Tanya. Time for round 2, she asked. Time to finish it. We went to his apartment together. She had a key because of course he gave her one back when he thought he could juggle us both. We waited until we knew he'd be out. He worked part-time at a buddy's construction gig after getting fired. We went inside, boxed up everything he owned, and left it in the hallway. Then we left a letter. It wasn't threatening. It wasn't crazy. It was honest. You lied. You used us. You left a mess behind and expected us to clean it up. Now it's your turn. I mailed a copy of the letter to his dad, too. And his pastor. And his old high school football coach he still worshipped like a god. He messaged me that night. I lost everything. My job. My reputation. My truck. My family. You happy? I replied, no. I'll be happy when you finally admit you were the problem. He didn't respond. Last I heard, he moved to Houston. Got a job doing basic labor work. Tanya decided to keep the baby. She hasn't heard from him since. As for me, I went through hell for a while. The pain, the shame of not seeing it sooner, the regret of loving a man who couldn't tell the truth if it saved his life. But I came out stronger. Colder, maybe, but smarter. And next time someone tells me they're at the gym, you better believe I'll ask what their routine is. And this time, they better have an answer.